If I were a rich man, all day long I'd sing a silly song. If I were a wealthy man, ha! Do you want to be wealthy? Let's have a coffee with Scruff, and we'll talk about it.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. This your first time here? I'm the big fella Scruff. What I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way, but certainly inspire you. Because when you're buzzing around the old tinternet looking for things, it's very difficult to find diamonds in the rough. And trust me, I'm rough rather than a diamond. But what I'm driving at is the metrics you look at should be your own. It's nice to see big figures and one thing and another, but a lot of people don't have the amount of money that you need in order to achieve those fabled gains. I've got a good size account. I've got a few good size accounts, but it's taken me years to get there, and it wasn't done overnight, and it's took a long, hard road of heartache, pain, and growth. And the key element here is growth.
Are you serious?
So, why's that got anything to do with coffee with Scruff? Well, first of all, I need a coffee, so let me have a slip. Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. But I love the charts and I love building things as well. And one of the things that we've just recently done, because I run a small Discord group, and it's not a big group, it's kind of members only, and I have their best interest at heart. And sometimes they think I'm like a hard taskmaster because I reel them in all the time. I can't stand freeloaders and I can't stand gamblers.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Because they will never be winners. Either of them. Now, there's nothing wrong with having small accounts. In fact, I did a poll. Let me just flick this over and I'm going to show you a small account and give you an update on the growth and where it's come from and why it is. But first of all, let me just show you a poll. I did a poll on the channel, and if you haven't subscribed to it, do subscribe. And most of the viewers are up to £500 or $500 on their account. So the chances of you turning 500 into mega money is borderline zero. I'm not saying it can't be done because obviously there are exceptions to the rule. But I'm telling you straight, if you think you're turning that into millions in a very quick period of time,
Wrong, 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 wrong.
You are grossly mistaken. Now, there was another comment further down, and I'm going to do another video on it. Because I think it's valid what we're talking about here. This one, okay? It's about why traders fail. And the failure, and I did answer it, because you should. I answer every single one of them. And I answered it fully. You know, I didn't give it like a one-word answer or something, just like thanks or something. I told them exactly why. Now, what I'm driving at with that is, one of the reasons that you fail is the expectation that you have of the market. And that's driven by, well, this.
You ding-dong!
Fuck. Gets on my tits. And you see adverts all the time. Every one of my clients has passed FTMO. Oh, give us some money, we'll pass the challenge for you. Well, firstly, nobody has 100% hit rate, so that's absolute bollocks. And I know it's bollocks because some of those guys that are supposedly in that group are also in my group and they haven't passed it. So that 100% is bollocks. Then you have, give us some money, we'll pass your fund for you. These adverts are everywhere, all over social media. What's the point? you still can't trade. So even by some miracle they pass that challenge for you, you've paid them to do it, you still lose your account. It's the stupidest business model I've ever come across. Duh.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
And the other side of it is the expectation. You know, you see some adverts where they go, oh, look at this wonderful amount of money I've just made. But if you look at the lot size, it's colossal. And it takes money to make money. So if you've only got $500 or £500, you are not putting 10 lots on. It's just not happening. So you've got to build. And this is why I reined the guys in and we had a bit of a chat. And we were either going to go down the prop route. Now, if you are going down the prop route, it is a good way of using smaller money to get to big money. And there's kind of two ways you can do it. You go down the traditional prop way, which is sort of the 5%ers. It's the only prop firm that I endorse. And you buy a challenge and then you capitalize on that. But you've still got to respect the process. And the drawdown is the bit that you respect. And the other route is you go down Darwin X, where you can pay a subscription and they'll give you a lump of money and you'll get paid a management fee for managing that money. So again, two ways to skin a cat, and it depends on how you want to put your investment. Because a prop, you can pay anywhere from $200 to $1,000 for the prop, depending on the account size. And if you look at a subscription version like Darwin X, where it's $38 a month or 38 euros a month rather, you could think, well, that 500 across the year is going to cost that subscription. So it's different ways of looking at it. Or of course, you just put it into your own account and build it up. And that's what we did. And the market of choice, or the product, or the prop, put my teeth back in. I need a coffee, boys and girls. I'll have to have a moment while I'm having it. The broker of choice is BlackBull. And there's links for all of these in the description below if you want to come along. If you're using 5%ers, there's a 5% discount. If you're going to Darwin X, there's a €20 discount, simply because I've spoke to both CEOs and they gave me a voucher for you guys. And if you're going with BlackBull, the link you use will give you free education, and it'll also give you access to a wider leverage, which is why we went with it. Because we could turn our £200 investment, so we all put 200 in, and it's whether it's $200, €200, I put £200 in sterling, because of its nature of where you live. And then the idea was to build it up. And that's what we've done. So let me show you this, but then I want to talk to you a little bit about, well, common sense, shall we say. And I'll try and keep it as brief as I can, because the problem with these videos is, people say, oh, your videos are too long. Well, if you can't be bothered to watch it to the end of a 20-minute video, you have got zero chance of making it to the end of your trading career. Because I'm telling you, you cannot learn how to trade watching a 15-minute video. You're in fucking cuckoo land. You really are.
Who'd be stupid enough to do that?
Justify, stupid.
I did a live stream with the 5%ers, and you want to watch it. I did my best to try and explain how the markets worked. But the amount of freeloaders that were just looking for the giveaways and they had zero intention of taking any knowledge on, it was ridiculous.
Strategy. You can say what you think.
But this is what you're up against all the time. And it's why the prop industry sometimes has a bad light. And certainly when you see, well, what I showed you earlier on, here I'll show you again.
You ding-dong!
Give it to me again.
You ding-dong!
Fuck's sake. When you see this, everybody's sucked in. What you really want to be doing is looking at the nuts and bolts and doing this as a job. And when you start a job, you start at the bottom and you work up. Let me show you. So if I jump into my Discord, and I'm almost got on a rant there, boys and girls, because I was old. And I do get on a rant, and I'll tell you why I'm getting on a rant, because it's freezing outside, it's blowing a gale, it's absolutely horrid, and I'm going on my hollies. I am. I'm taking a break. I'm going to step away for a little while. And part of this break, I'm going on a cruise. And we're having the worst storm in history. And I don't do seasickness. So this might be a bad adventure. So the next time you might see me, I might be 5 stone lighter because I'll have thrown my guts out. Which is normally what I do when I see these morons on the telly. Yes, I can put my foot through the telly. I fucking morons. Right, sorry. Almost got on one. Calm down a bit. Right. This is our Discord. Now, within it, we created a channel called Small Success. Because as you saw from that poll, people have little money. So we've put in, and again, I was in 95 cents. And straight away, the freeloaders out there and the ones who kick it in, go on, have a go. Stick it in, off your trot. Go on. Because I don't give a fuck. I'll be paid on Friday. Will you?
You know, if I was as worried as you, I'd never fart for fear of shitting myself.
It hit the target what I needed. Okay? And then the guys that have been following a simple process, and you put in the results, and they're all doing quite well. Okay? Now, we're doing a 5-3-1 process on it. 5 products. So it's kind of what the voting process here is. We're looking to see what the next 5 products are we're going to trade for the month of February. 3 strategies. So it's a swing, a day, and a scalp. And you trade it once a day. And then you compound and build it up. That's the general gist of it. Now, my figures, if I show you this, are here. So I started with 200. I'm currently at 231 with a 15.9 growth. Now, on a small account, you can maintain that level of growth over the course of the year. Certainly up to about £1,000 to 2,000. Why? By nature of the size of the account. If you're on a pound a point or something, you can put big chunks in this. As the account grows, that percentage comes down. And it'll come down to maybe 2 or 3% a month. But compounded across a year, that's fantastic. Because the baseline working to is 20% a year on a good size account. Anything beyond that, absolutely fantastic. So, what are we looking at? Well, if I pull this over into the month of January, we started it on the 8th, which was the first working Monday after Christmas and New Year. And I targeted 10%. That's all I wanted. 10%. Well, I've crashed through that. I've taken 41 positions with a 95.12 hit rate, creating a profit of 31.75 because I took my time. And yes, I can split the trades because what it's saying is my bid size can be sort of 20, got to round it up to the nearest 10. So I can actually put 2 positions in at once, which will increase the totals, okay? Because I do that, and it works it out here, what's going on. So it's telling me I can have 2 splits. So what that'll work out is 10 cents a split. I went 11.75 over target, and all I needed to achieve each day was 92 cents or 92p. And as long as I kept going over that just a little bit, well, that 10% mounted up. So let's have a little think about this with a compound calculator. But before I do that, I'll actually show you the account so you can see it. Because it's all well and good seeing on a spreadsheet, but you should be able to see it in real life as well. So it's the BlackBull. We're using the hedge account. There's the balance, which is just the same. Drop the history in. There's the 95 that just being shown, the guys. And one of the things that I do is once I'm paid and I've hit target, I stop for the day. I don't keep on going. I don't overtrade. I don't over leverage. I'm very patient and I get paid because I stick to a simple rule. Start with 0, end with 1. Just means I have more at the end of the day than I did when I start. If you're over trading, over leveraging, jumping from strategy to strategy, product to product, and trying to beat the market every day,
Good luck with that.
now from here, if I just pull this onto, say, custom period, we started this, as you saw, on the 8th, so I'll take it back to the 8th. Fire. There you go. There's all those trades. Boom, 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 boom. With next to no red. Why? Well, it's very simple. I wait for A1 setups. And because I'm only trading once a day, I have the patience and the discipline to wait for it. And it pays off. Now, I'm going to put this to one side. I'm going to have a look at something. Now, if you wanted big money, just for argument's sake, and as you've just seen from that poll, 500 was kind of the average. Let's just look at something quickly before I put a few maths together for you. And then I'll show you what building small accounts can do. So, want the wage maker. All right. Let us say you've got 500 in the bank. All right? 500 quid. And that's what you're starting with. And you want a monthly salary, I don't know. Well, let's have a look. We'll say what? 2,000 quid? Something like that. So what's 40 grand a year? So that's 3. So just it's 2.5. So I'm just going to piss about with this so I can get it to about 2 grand. Right, close enough. All right. So you're trying to turn your 500 into 2,000 because you've seen some bozo say you can give up your job in 90 days or 30 days was one of them that I saw. Rayman! Fucking idiot. All right. Right. Let's work this out. Maximum bid size you can have is about 50 pence. If you're following a formula that I use, I go 10p for every 100 liquid money or a pound 1,000. Now you can over leverage that, but that would be stupid because if you're over leveraged, you're going to stress the account. But let's just say that you are going to stress it and you're going to do a pound a position on 500. It's not out the realms of possibility and it'll give you half decent stop loss. The problem is if you're wrong, you're going to put a big hole in it. All right, but let's just say you can. How many times do you think you have to trade per day in order to get that? Assuming your average win is 10 pips. Right? Because if you're day trading and scalping, 10 pips is there or thereabouts. Okay. Well, let's have a look, shall we? So at 98p, you've got to trade 10 times. So in an 8-hour period, this is assuming you're trading 8 hours, you've got to trade 10 times in order to achieve that 2,000 goal. But not only have you got to trade it 10 times, you've got to do it every day at that position size. Granted, as the profits come in, the margins get a little bit easier. But if you were sticking at about a pound a point, 10 times. Now, if you're working, you've got a limited window. How on earth are you going to do it? Because if you're trading sort of late US session, early into Asia, trading 10 times is really hard. You've really got to be trading the London session. Now, for a lot of people, that session's while you're at work. How on earth can you concentrate on the markets? You can't. So you've got to build it up and compound it.
You're taller than I imagined.
I'm bigger in every department.
So it's a tall order, really, isn't it? In fact, it's incredibly difficult. But let's have a look at something else, just to kind of fire this up into something. So if I just put this onto a summary, and let's just say over the course of 5 years, you're building up your 200 quid. Well, this isn't out of the realms of possibility. And I'm going to show you it, and I'm going to show you something. Because it's well catalogued. I lost everything in 2017. And we're now coming into 2024. I had to start from scratch, rebuild everything. And I'm going to show you how rebuilding something in the background can pay off. Now, if I just pull up a basic compound calculator, and you can see there's a 15% growth there. But I want to kind of show you something. What you got to remember is this is perfect scenarios and there are building blocks inside it. If you started with 200 quid and you will look, well, there's 5 years actually on it, but you can change this number to anything you want. So we'll say 5 years. We are going to reinvest everything into this, but we're going to assume that you can maintain 10% growth a month. This is astronomically big. Astronomically. And I'll show you the difference in the figures because this is what gets banded around. 10%. Calculate. That'll give you 80 grand by compounding. Right? But that's assuming you can do 10% per month. But if you start breaking it down, it's not as bad as it seems. Because if you think about it, 10% a month is 120 a year as a rolling thing. Divide that by 52. Gives you that. And then divide that by 5. So you only have to do about 0.5% a day on your account, which means you don't have to stress the account that as much as what you think. Now, in reality, though, your monthly return probably be half that. You know, if you did 5% a month, that's a pretty darn good return. And if you invested that, it doesn't have to make a difference to the total. So think about doing it this way. All right. It's very easy to go ba-boom, 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 because obviously the more interest that you can accrue, the better the account comes. And what this illustrates is it shows what the reality of trading is versus what you think it might be. Because you think you're going to get this 80k, when in reality you're probably only going to get about 4 grand. You know, but look at it this way. If you were pulling in, and we'll use the example that I've just used, yes, that is a good month, and I could do a lot better because the account is very small, I've got the leverage to do it, etc., etc. Let's play with some figures a little bit, and then I'll finish this off by showing you how passive works and what my Vanguard is, because the Vanguard is built by doing exactly what I've just shown you with a small account, trading it once or twice a day, and just letting the positions build up over a period of time. And it's taken it, well, it's knocking on 6-7 years now. I've only just come into Vanguard this year, but I had my investments elsewhere, but you'll be able to see it. And I did close off an old work pension, but that old work pension was from donkeys years ago, and it was about that big. So the rest of it's all by my own hand, because I've been self-employed for, how old am I? I'm 54 and I was 30. Oh, Jesus Christ, 24 years. That's old, boys and girls, that's old. Right. So, 15% growth per month on 200 quid is not impossible. And I've just shown you that. But we're going to scale that back to 12%, 2% over my target each month. Okay. And I think that might be a little bit fairer. And I'm only going to do it for 1 year. So this particular balance set will be at 12% for the per month for the first year. No withdrawals, and I'm going to reinvest everything. Okay, that gives me 845. So let me just drop this onto here. So that's 12, and I've got a base balance at the end of the year of 845. In year 2, I may well possibly be able to do 12% on that per month, because it's not that big. It's not that much of a stretch. So we can do 12% again and see what happens. Okay. So come up. So principal 845, just round it off. We've now got 3570. 3570. 3570. Now it might get a little bit trickier. So I'm going to drop that down to 10%. Still doable. You know, it's not that much. 350 quid. I mean, if you think about it, get a calculator out. 3570 times 10%. 357 per month. It's not impossible. It's not impossible at all. So 3570, 10%, 11868. It's now getting pretty darn good. 11868. Okay. Now we're getting into serious money. We're going to drop the next 2 years to 8%. So they're going to be 8 and this is going to be 8. Okay. Back to the calculator. I'll do this relatively quick. So it's 11868. 8%. Okay, we've now got 3138. 3138. Okay, it's a sizable jump, and it does get difficult. But now your position sizes should be increasing with it, and one thing and another. And then we're going to do the last one, which is 31038. 81172. 81172. So we're going to take you 5 years to get up to 80 grand. Okay. So where am I going with this, and why am I kind of showing it? It's because it's not out of the ordinary to be able to do that. If you plan it and you do little step after step after step, and once you get those little steps over and over, you can then have a portfolio. And there's my portfolio. All right, I'm behind schedule if I'm looking at that 5-year plan, but it's £73,000 doing exactly that. So I do practice what I preach, and I do back it up, and there it is right there. Now, if you are just doing little steps over and over, these add up. They always add up. The trick is not to have your expectation in such a way it's unattainable. If you set out for 10 quid a day and you achieve £10 a day, why the hell are you going back to market? You've achieved your plan. If you do 12 quid, you've overachieved. But you get greedy. That greed takes over, and that greed destroys your account. So in answer to the question, why do traders fail? It's not the system, because they all work, if you can recognize what's going on. X does not mark the spot, because if it did, we'd all be millionaires. You've got to go back to what I've just said. You've got to be able to read the condition. You've got to be able to see if a market is trending up, trending down, going sideways. And then even if it is going sideways, is there a micro trend inside that? Are you going to trade from the bottom to the top? Or are you going to wait to get to the top to come back down, go with the bigger trend? There is so much to learn. And if you think you're doing it in 15 minutes and you're going to have £100,000 a year salary, or you're a freeloader and you're expecting to get it free by just going, just give me it, because I watched all the comments yesterday. Oh, buy me an account, give me an account, I'll pay you back when I pass. it's not happening. Because you'll never pass. Because you are not willing to put the work in. This is a difficult job with very easy metrics. Now that one will blow your brains out. The metrics are simple. Reading a chart is simple. I do it all the time. Every live stream I've been on the 5%ers. I've called every trade I've been on. Every single one of them. Because I'm patient. I'm not jumping from place to place. I watch it. Is it big? No. But it's accurate. That's the difference. All right? So the metrics are quite easy. The hard part has been and always will be you. It's your emotional state and how you apply yourself to the markets. Treat it as a job, it'll pay you as a job. Go in like a casino, the house always wins. Something for you to think about. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.